Before his passing, Gord Downie was on a path to try to bring Canada's Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples together.
To create a greater awareness among non-Indigenous people of the need to get involved in reconciliation, to walk the path together, if you will.
He wrote and sung the story of Downie-Wenjack, a young Indigenous boy who died shortly after running away from a residential school.
The impact and the legacy of residential schools still impacts Canadians today. And those are things that we really haven't acknowledged within our identity as Canadians. And there's lots of work that we need to do going forward.
Gord and his brother Mike founded the Downie-Wenjack Fund in collaboration with the Wenjack family. They say now during this federal election, it's more important than ever to bring forward the issues still being fought by the Indigenous communities.
For Canadians, I think they should care. If they don't, I think they should care a little bit more about Indigenous issues, and I think they should factor that into their choices when it comes to the polls.
Has there been enough mention of it, in your opinion, from any of the parties, all the parties?
I don't think there's been a lot of talk about Indigenous issues in this federal election, and I think that's disappointing. I think people should care, and I think the candidates should care as well.
And they feel one of the main points for parties should be continuing reconciliation for residential schools.
I think it's always important, and I think it's always important to keep in mind during election periods, there's so much work to be done, and I think it's so important for all levels of government to really have policies and strategies about how to manage Indigenous issues. And I think there's a lot of room in this country for all Canadians to have a better understanding of the true history and legacy of residential schools and how that impacts our country today.
And in an effort to keep those issues in the forefront, a special concert will be held at Roy Thompson Hall this Saturday. The Secret Path Live will be a recreation of what was Gord Downie's final live performance. The recreation of the iconic performances will reunite the original band members with other special guest artists. Money raised will benefit the Downie-Wenjack Fund.
I hope that they leave knowing a lot more about residential schools, about the need for reconciliation, and about building a new country, a new Canada, where Indigenous lives truly matter.
In Toronto, Audra Brown, City News.